What's up, everybody? I'm Novo coming at you with another one. Figured we would follow up on Bitcoin because everyone's in a panic, right? Anyway, so with regards to this down the rabbit hole indicator where I mashed up um, the 350 moving average and the 111 moving average with the 350 multiplier. So 350 day price times 21, 13, 8. And this is the Fibonacci sequence. So way back here, by the way, you might be able to see this better on like a 4K TV because I'm on a 50-inch monitor right now. You can sit back and watch it from the comfort of your couch, to be honest. But anyways, going back to this. So the 350 times 21, we did a recap where it kind of would have called this top, right? And then the next sequence would be, well, I guess it would be this one here, calling this top. Turn that off. And then the 8x calling this top. We turn that one off. And then this one here calling this top. And now we are over here. And technically, we're already punching through this top. So I think we're very close to the end game for this cycle. Now, there's two arguments here, and I'm going to turn on this number 5 again. Reason being, where are we here? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Let's go auto. Excuse me. So we were arguing earlier that this movement here would be reminiscent of either this guy or this guy, and we're getting ready to head off to our final phase. And in this case, the times 5, the 5 multiplier, the 5 multiplier was calling this top. So that means the argument would be that this multiplier is going to call the next top, and we're already punching through. So only, well, I'm suspecting two things to happen, one of two things. One, we're almost at our top. Excuse me, and the cycle is almost over. And the reason why the move looks shorter is because we're throwing in this as well. It's almost as if this move went up and it could have been equivalent to something down here. And then we had a lot of uncertainty with a dump and then a reset, right? So if you could grab this move and bring it like so, and then there is a time lapse with the next one, you could almost argue that that is the case, right? Because this doesn't look right. This was fighting it, and then the big dump, and then the consolidation. It just made like a false rally, but this was the signal of better things to come. This probably shook a lot of people out, and now we're heading up. So the tops are normally called, where is shape? There. The tops were normally called whenever the 111 and the 350 would cross. And then within 3 days, we would see a top, right? So we got a top, we got a top. We would have seen a top if we had the same mathematics going and there was more time in the background. So we're very close. If you look at the 111, it's heading towards the 350 for a cross from underneath. But the gap is sitting at, let's have a peekaboo. So the gap is sitting at around, we'll call it 8%. Next week, it'll probably be like half that, 4%. And then the week after that, we may be 2-3 weeks away from an actual top. And we have this sell-off happening here. Sorry, we'll zoom in a little closer. And we will turn on these candles, you can see this huge wick that went all the way down. And I can't do half days, but I have a feeling there's the argument is obviously settling in here, and it's trying to come back up. What day is this? That was yesterday. Today we had a little bit of a further dump. I'll have a look at that at a different chart. And I have a feeling we're probably going to be coming down and testing down here, right? So we did a nice little wave consolidation, a big boost, craziness, and now we're coming back down to find our next support level. And it might be around the, I'm thinking, where are we here? 41 and a half, 42, 41.9, 41,900 or below, somewhere around there. And that will be the leg that we are looking at over something similar to this. But I'm starting to think that we are right here. And this thing came all the way down. So you can see previous resistance became final support there. And I have a feeling that that's the case. So if you're liquid and you're waiting for a deal, it looks like the deal is coming up really soon. And this move here, I guess technically it should be like so. I think I just got lucky that that we actually got to there. So this might have to be a little bit lower. And then this guy is here. And then our final top, we don't know where it is yet. Excuse me. But we are very, very close. And the last few days, I mean, you can see, we'll zoom in again, very difficult to predict the actual number. This one was pretty much bang on. But look at the run up, like in the final week, right? Like what is this? 11 grand and then almost 100%, like within a week. That's craziness. So, um, I think we're going to 41. 41. Where are we here? Top to this move here, 70. 70. Oh, we were doing that 90%er off the golden ratio, I believe. And that was like 90% on the cross, right? So right about, yeah, 90% to a top. And if we did that, forecasted that in the coming future, let's bring this bad boy back. And the cross was right about here. I think we were looking up around here. Yeah. So about 180,000. I don't know if we're going to get that high. That might be a little too rich for me. But, you know, the math said 90%. So we're in this leg. We're coming back down. We're going to start testing support before we head off to our final all-time high. If we come back down and then we hit this line again, that might be our next high. But now I'm starting to think that the previous line, because the volatility is obviously not as violent in the past, well, presently as compared to the past, this may be our rev limiter into the future. So if price were to hit this anytime soon and within the next 2-3 weeks, I think that's it for Bitcoin. And I'd probably pull out like 50% and hope for like a 80% correction, that sort of thing. Having a look at BTC USDT. Okay, and zooming in a little closer. And this is the line that I'm talking about, around 41. Let's just call that 41.5. I keep thinking 41.9, but we'll just split the difference between 41, 41.9, and just call that 41.5. On the weekly, it's like wick territory, right? I don't know if we're going to come all the way back down to 38. It seems a bit far fetched because we've got these wicks here. And on the monthly, um, the top of the monthly wick is sitting at around 41.9. You know what? I'm going to go back to my original and just stick it around there. Splitting hairs, you know me. And now we'll go back to daily and we will turn on our moving averages. Let's do the 20. There we are. And then the 50. And there we are. And you can see the 50 is fast approaching that 41.9. So if we continue down, I think that's where our turn is going to be. And then we continue. Close this. And then we'll continue on with our final, possibly our final leg up to our all-time high. And then we're going to have a crypto, well, not a crypto winter, but I think Bitcoin is definitely going to move over for the alts. And I keep thinking like Bitcoin is the one coin to rule them all, but scalability issues and everything else behind that makes me think that a new upcoming coin is definitely going to take over, maybe even match Bitcoin. And personally, I think it might be Ethereum because of the whole argument about staking versus mining. Staking being that it's based on how much you hold, not what you mine. There will still be mining because we still have to log the ledger and the transactions that happen. I just don't think it'll pay out as much as the miners are making now, so to speak. At least that's what I think it is. But we are very close. So get ready for like, I don't know, 100% runs. And in this case, breaking 100K. And if we touch this guy, wherever the price is on this guy, if we touch it, I think that's where I'm going to pull the chute and ride the wave down and then start accumulating on the way down. Now, for accumulating on the way down, I know everybody loves buying the dip. You don't know where the bottom is. Buying a Bitcoin on the way down is not the smartest thing to do, but dollar cost averaging on the way down is probably the smartest thing to do because, well, let's say you've got $100,000 and you keep buying a quarter Bitcoin on the way down. The further down you go, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to buy a quarter Bitcoin, but you've arrested so much money up above that it's going to take forever for you to break even before you start making a profit. Whereas some people will go in and then they'll buy, depending on your account, like 1% of your account on the way down, right? And then you'll have, if it gets to this point, I'm going to buy 1%. If it gets to this point, I'm going to buy 1%. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, let's say you got 100,000 and you're doing 1%. Well, then it's how many Satoshis can you get for $1,000? And then how many Satoshis can you get for $1,000? And you can see that the lower you go, the more Satoshis you get. And then you'll get to the point where, $1,000 might be getting you 10 times, 100 times, who knows, depending on the price. And that's how you dollar cost average your way down if you don't know where a bottom is and you're completely bullish on Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever the coin it is. I just don't. I don't have complete faith in any crypto that I don't recognize. They're not mature enough. Granted, buying them, the gains would be astronomical, but so can the losses be. Um, Anyways, the game plan, again, we're waiting for that cross, maybe a top here. So touching this would give a signal to start taking some profits. This cross is supposed to indicate a top. It worked in the past. We don't know if that's going to work coming up. Plus, we had a 90 percenter from this cross here. So it's not 90% up. It's not 90% up because you can see how it goes 300%. It's 90% from the top down. So let's see. Can you see how the math looks different? Same price points, but the difference is we went up 330%, and from that point we came down 77%, and it's the same price settings. So that's what I mean about a 90% down to this cross. In the past worked as a prediction. To be safe, I would probably do like a 80 85, and that was way up around 180, right? 180, something like that. 92, where's 80? 80 is, well, just breaking 100,000. I think that's pretty conservative, and it's 100,000. But I think that would be safer than waiting for the big 180 up top. It could happen up there, but again, you don't know. You always take profits. It's not yours until you take profits, right? It's all speculation until you're out. So that's it. 17 minutes, man. We will call it. We'll call that the end of the video. BLX back, and we'll close that out. Can we get the thumbnail and show both? That looks pretty good to me. Okay, so that's it. Trade safe.